What if the world isn't waiting for the most talented, the most connected, or even the hardest working, but for those who dare to expect more? Imagine walking into every room, every challenge, every opportunity not with timid hope, but with the unshakable certainty that something extraordinary is destined for you. This isn't arrogance. It's not wishful thinking. It's a quiet, powerful alignment with a law that has shaped the rise of every self-made success story in history. The truth is, the world responds not to the faint-hearted, but to those who radiate expectancy, those who carry themselves as if greatness is not just possible, but inevitable. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract opportunities out of thin air? Doors open for them, strangers offer support, and solutions appear just when they need them most. It's as if the universe itself is conspiring in their favor. Meanwhile, others, equally skilled, equally deserving, find themselves stuck, overlooked, or left behind. The difference isn't luck, it's not even effort. It's the invisible force of expectation, quietly shaping every outcome, every encounter, every twist of fate. This force is more than a mindset. It's a magnetic field and aura that broadcasts your beliefs to the world around you. When you expect abundance, you draw it closer. When you brace for disappointment, you invite it in. Most people drift through life with a mental posture of apology, expecting only scraps and setbacks, and that's exactly what the world delivers unfailingly. But those who expect more, who walk with conviction and purpose, find that reality bends to meet their standards. So the real question isn't whether you're worthy of success. The question is, what are you truly expecting from life, because your expectations are the architects of your destiny. And if you're ready to discover how to harness this power to turn expectancy into a force that attracts wealth, opportunity, and fulfillment, then keep watching. The journey to a magnetic aura of success begins right now, but that's only the beginning. There's a law at work in your life, whether you're aware of it or not, a law as real and unyielding as gravity. It's the law of expectancy, and it quietly shapes the boundaries of your success, your wealth, and even your happiness. This law doesn't care about your background, your education, or your current circumstances. It responds only to the standards you set in your mind and the expectations you hold for yourself. What you expect, you tend to attract. This isn't just motivational fluff, it's a principle that has been proven time and again, both in the stories of history's greatest achievers and in the latest research on human psychology. Think about the people who have risen from obscurity to distinction, from poverty to prosperity. Their journeys are rarely smooth and their talents are not always extraordinary. What sets them apart is a relentless, almost stubborn expectation that they are meant for more. They don't just hope for success, they expect it, even when the evidence is thin and the world is skeptical. This expectation becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, guiding their actions, sharpening their focus, and drawing opportunities that others overlook. But let's be clear, expectancy is not arrogance. It's not the loud, boastful confidence that demands attention or belittles others. True expectancy is quiet, disciplined, and deeply rooted. It's the inner conviction that, no matter what the current situation looks like, something better is on its way. It's the difference between wishful thinking and unwavering belief. Wishful thinking is passive, it waits, it hopes, it hesitates. Expectancy is active, it prepares, it acts, it persists. Modern psychology backs this up. Studies show that people who expect positive outcomes are more likely to notice opportunities, take calculated risks, and recover quickly from setbacks. Their brains are literally wired to seek out solutions and to persevere when others give up. This is not magic, it's the science of mindset. When you expect good things, your subconscious mind goes to work, filtering information, guiding your decisions, and aligning your actions with your vision. Yet most people never harness this law. They let their expectations be shaped by past disappointments, by the doubts of others, or by the limitations of their environment. They expect little and life delivers exactly that. But the law of expectancy is always at work, whether you use it consciously or not. If you expect failure, you'll find reasons to justify it. If you expect abundance, you'll start to see doors where others see walls. So how do you begin to align yourself with this law? It starts with a decision to raise your standards, to expect more, and to refuse to settle for less than you desire. It means catching yourself in moments of doubt and deliberately choosing a higher expectation. It means speaking about your future as if it's already unfolding, and acting as if success is not just possible but inevitable. The law of expectancy is not reserved for the lucky few. It's available to anyone willing to claim it. The question is, will you let your expectations be dictated by your past, or will you use this law to shape a future that exceeds anything you've experienced before? Because once you understand the power of expectancy, you'll never look at your goals or your life the same way again. And as you begin to shift your expectations, you'll notice something remarkable. The world starts to shift with you. But the real transformation begins when you learn how to turn this law into a daily discipline. Every person you meet carries an invisible magnet, a force field shaped by their thoughts, beliefs, and the emotions they project into the world. This isn't some mystical vapor or new age fantasy. It's the real, measurable effect of your inner world on your outer reality. The truth is, your habitual thoughts and persistent beliefs are constantly broadcasting signals, whether you realize it or not. These signals shape how others perceive you, how opportunities find you, and even how challenges respond to your presence. Picture two people entering the same room. One walks in with a confident gaze, a firm handshake, and an air of quiet certainty. The other shuffles in, eyes downcast, already bracing for rejection. Instantly, the energy shifts. The confident individual draws attention, sparks conversation, and seems to attract support without even trying. The other fades into the background, overlooked and underestimated. Why does this happen? Because expectancy is a silent broadcast, a frequency that influences everyone and everything it touches. Your aura is not a matter of luck or genetics. It's the sum total of the thoughts you choose, the beliefs you reinforce, and the emotional tone you set for yourself each day. If you fill your mind with anxiety, self-doubt, or visions of lack, your aura becomes a repellent, pushing away the very opportunities you crave. But when you charge your consciousness with expectancy, with the unshakable certainty that good is on its way, you become magnetic. People sense it, often without knowing why. They're drawn to your energy, your presence, your sense of direction. This invisible magnet doesn't just affect people, it shapes circumstances too. Ideas flow more easily. Solutions appear where there were only problems. Doors that seemed sealed suddenly swing open. It's not magic, it's the higher mathematics of the mind. The world is constantly responding to the signals you send, and those signals are set by your expectations. But here's the catch: most people never realize they're broadcasting anything at all. They walk through life with a mental posture of apology, expecting only scraps, and the world obliges. If you want to change your outcomes, you must first change your expectations. You must become vigilant about the thoughts you allow to take root, because every thought is an ingredient in your invisible magnet. The stronger your expectancy, the more powerful your pull. So ask yourself, what are you broadcasting right now? Are you repelling the very things you desire, or are you drawing them closer with every thought, every belief, every emotion? The answer to that question is the key to transforming your reality. And what happens when you start to deliberately shape your inner world? The results can be nothing short of astonishing. If you want to know where your life is headed, listen closely to the conversation happening inside your own mind. Your self-talk, the endless stream of thoughts, judgments, and predictions you whisper to yourself, acts as the architect of your destiny. Most people never realize how powerful this inner dialogue truly is. They let it run wild, echoing the doubts of parents, the fears of teachers, and the limitations of society. But here's the truth: every word you speak to yourself is a command to your subconscious, a blueprint for what you will allow, pursue, and ultimately achieve. Consider this: every day, thousands of thoughts try to take root in your mind. Some are seeds of possibility, others are weeds of doubt. If you don't guard your mental garden, those weeds will choke out your potential before it ever has a chance to grow. This is why mental discipline is not a luxury, it's a necessity. You must become vigilant, catching negative self-talk the moment it appears and replacing it with words that serve your highest vision. It's easy to underestimate the impact of a single thought, but over time these thoughts accumulate, forming the emotional tone of your life. If your inner voice is filled with anxiety, self-criticism, or fear of lack, your actions will reflect that. You'll hesitate, you'll shrink, you'll settle for less. But if you train your mind to expect abundance, to affirm your worth, and to anticipate good things, your entire posture changes. You walk taller, speak with more conviction, and approach challenges with a sense of inevitability. This discipline doesn't happen by accident. It's a daily practice, a ritual you must commit to with intention. Each morning, before the world has a chance to shape your mood, take control of your self-talk. Declare to yourself with unwavering certainty that today something prosperous will happen for you. When setbacks arise, and they will, don't surrender your expectation. Instead, double down. Remind yourself that the universe isn't testing you, it's teaching you persistence. Every challenge is an opportunity to reinforce your belief in your own eventual triumph. But mental discipline goes beyond affirmations. It's about rejecting the beliefs that no longer serve you, even if they've been with you for years. Many of the doubts you carry aren't even yours, they were handed to you by others who never dared to expect more. You have the right and the responsibility to rewrite your mental script. Expectancy is not a fleeting mood, it's a discipline you must practice, guard, and fortify every single day. Guard your mind as fiercely as you would guard your most valuable possession. Be ruthless in eradicating every expectation that sabotages your potential. Replace it with the disciplined conviction that you are worthy, capable, and destined for abundance, not someday but now. The more you repeat this process, the more natural it becomes. Your subconscious begins to accept this new standard, and your actions start to align with your vision. Remember, your self-talk is not just background noise. It's the foundation upon which your future is built. If you want to change your outcomes, start by changing the conversation in your own mind, because the world will always rise or fall to meet the level of your expectations. And as you master this mental discipline, you'll find that your aura of expectancy grows stronger, drawing opportunities and solutions to you almost effortlessly. But the real magic happens when you put this expectancy into action. It's one thing to talk about expectancy, to fill your mind with positive thoughts and affirmations. But the real transformation begins when expectancy moves from theory to action, when it becomes the driving force behind every decision, every effort, and every response to adversity. This is where the law of expectancy separates the dreamers from the doers, the hopeful from the unstoppable. When you truly expect success, your behavior changes in ways that are both subtle and profound. You prepare differently. You show up early, stay engaged longer, and invest more energy into your goals. You don't just hope things will work out, you act as if it's only a matter of time before they do. This shift in posture is unmistakable. People sense it in your presence, hear it in your voice, and see it in the way you handle challenges. You become the person who is always ready, always alert, always moving forward. Consider the stories of high achievers, those who have built fortunes, led movements, or changed the course of their industries. Their journeys are rarely smooth. They face setbacks, ridicule, and moments of crushing doubt. But what sets them apart is not just talent or luck. It's the discipline to maintain high expectations even when the world offers nothing but obstacles. They don't interpret setbacks as signs to quit. Instead, they see them as temporary detours, lessons to be learned, or even as proof that a breakthrough is near. This mindset is not reserved for the famous or the fortunate. Anyone can cultivate it. When you expect to win, you start to notice opportunities that others overlook. You become more resourceful, finding creative solutions where others see only dead ends. Your resilience grows because you're not bracing for failure, you're preparing for victory. Even when things go wrong, you recover faster because your expectation of success is stronger than any temporary defeat. But expectancy in action is not just about persistence, it's about alignment. Your thoughts, words, and actions must all point in the same direction. If you say you expect abundance but act with hesitation or speak with doubt, you send mixed signals to yourself and to the world. True expectancy is a full-body commitment. It's in the way you walk into a meeting, the way you negotiate a deal, the way you pursue your goals. It's the difference between asking for permission and claiming your place at the table. This alignment creates a powerful feedback loop. The more you act with expectancy, the more positive results you attract. Each small win reinforces your belief, making it easier to expect even greater things. Over time, this becomes your new normal. You stop questioning whether you deserve success and start preparing for it as an inevitability. Expectancy in action also means refusing to settle. When an opportunity falls short of your standards, you do lower your expectations to match it. Instead, you raise your preparation, your skills, and your persistence until the right opportunity appears. This is how leaders, inventors, and legends have always operated. They set their sights high and refuse to compromise, even when the world tells them to be realistic. So if you want to see real change, don't just think about expectancy, live it. Let it shape your habits, your routines, and your responses to every challenge. Act as if your success is already on its way and watch as the world begins to respond in kind. Because when expectancy becomes action, you become unstoppable. And yet, even the most powerful expectancy can be threatened by hidden enemies. Even the strongest expectation can be quietly undermined by forces that slip in unnoticed. These enemies of expectancy are subtle, persistent, and often disguised as harmless habits or common sense. If you want to build an aura that attracts wealth, opportunity, and success, you must learn to recognize and defeat these silent saboteurs before they take root. The first and most insidious enemy is comparison. In a world obsessed with measuring progress against others, it's easy to let someone else's timeline become your standard. You scroll through social media, see the highlight reels of friends and strangers, and suddenly your own journey feels slow, small, or inadequate. But comparison is a thief. It steals your focus, dilutes your vision, and poisons your expectancy. The truth is, your path is unique. The only standard that matters is the one you set for yourself. When you compare, you hand over your power. When you concentrate on your own growth, you reclaim it. Doubt is another silent enemy, and it often arrives disguised as caution or realism. It whispers that you're not ready, that you're asking for too much, that failure is inevitable. Doubt doesn't shout, it seeps in quietly, eroding your confidence one thought at a time. If left unchecked, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The mind that expects little receives little. The antidote is vigilance. Catch doubt the moment it appears and challenge it with evidence of your progress, your preparation, and your past victories. Replace every "what if I fail" with "what if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams." Negative environments are perhaps the most underestimated enemy of all. The people you surround yourself with, the information you consume, and the routines you follow all shape your mental climate. If your circle is filled with cynics, complainers, or those who expect little from life, their energy will seep into your own consciousness. The same goes for the media you absorb. A steady diet of fear, scarcity, and failure stories will shrink your expectations until you unconsciously settle for less. Guard your environment as fiercely as you guard your mind. Seek out voices that challenge you to think bigger, friends who expect more from themselves and from you, and spaces that inspire growth. There's also the enemy of inconsistency. Many people expect abundance one day and brace for disappointment the next. This back and forth weakens your aura and confuses the very forces that respond to your expectations. Expectancy must become your default setting, not a fleeting mood. It must persist through delays, criticism, and uncertainty. Only then does it mature into a power that cannot be ignored. Finally, beware the trap of resignation. After a string of setbacks, it's tempting to lower your standards, to tell yourself that maybe you were asking for too much. But resignation is the death of expectancy. The world will always test your resolve, especially when you raise your standards. The key is to double down, to reaffirm your expectation even when the evidence is invisible. Remember, the universe is not punishing you, it's preparing you for the responsibilities of greater success. To protect your expectancy, you must be ruthless in eliminating these enemies. Refuse to compare, reject doubt, curate your environment, and commit to consistency. Expectancy is a discipline, not a mood. The more fiercely you defend it, the stronger it becomes. And as you master this, you'll discover that even adversity can be transformed into fuel for your next breakthrough. But what happens when you learn to turn every setback into a stepping stone? That's where the real power of expectancy is revealed. If there's one quality that separates those who merely wish for success from those who achieve it, it's resilience, the ability to keep moving forward no matter how many times life tries to knock you down. But here's the secret most people miss: true resilience is born from expectancy. When you expect to win, setbacks become temporary and obstacles transform into stepping stones. Your mind stops seeing failure as a verdict and starts seeing it as a lesson, a necessary ingredient in your eventual triumph. Think about the most successful people you know or admire. Their stories are rarely a straight line from dream to achievement. Instead, they're filled with detours, disappointments, and moments when giving up would have been the easier choice. But what kept them going wasn't just grit or stubbornness. It was a deep, unwavering expectation that their efforts would eventually pay off. This expectancy acted as a shield, protecting their vision from the corrosive effects of doubt and discouragement. Resilience isn't about denying reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about interpreting those challenges through the lens of expectancy. When a door closes, the expectant mind doesn't see it as the end. Instead, it asks, what is this preparing me for? Or how can I use this setback to my advantage? This shift in perspective is powerful. It turns every defeat into a lesson, every delay into a period of preparation, and every criticism into fuel for growth. Science backs this up. Studies show that people who maintain positive expectations in the face of adversity recover faster, adapt more quickly, and are more likely to find creative solutions. Their brains are wired to look for opportunity even in the midst of chaos. This isn't just optimism, it's a disciplined mental habit, forged through repetition and reinforced by every small victory along the way. But resilience isn't automatic. It must be cultivated, especially in a world that often rewards instant gratification and punishes patience. The expectant person understands that time is an ally, not an enemy. They know that the seeds of success sometimes take longer to sprout than we'd like, but they trust the process. They persist not because they're immune to disappointment, but because their expectation of eventual victory is stronger than any temporary setback. This is why it's so important to celebrate progress, no matter how small. Each win, each lesson learned, each day you refuse to give up is evidence that your expectancy is working. Keep a record of these moments. Let them remind you, especially in difficult seasons, that resilience is not just about surviving adversity, it's about using it to build an even stronger foundation for your future. And remember, resilience is contagious. When you carry yourself with expectancy, others notice. Your confidence gives them permission to believe in their own possibilities. Your refusal to be defeated by setbacks inspires those around you to raise their own standards. In this way, your personal resilience becomes a ripple that can transform families, teams, and entire communities. So the next time you face a setback, don't ask if you're being punished or if you should lower your expectations. Instead, ask what this moment is preparing you for. Double down on your vision, reaffirm your expectancy, because every challenge you overcome is proof that you are becoming the kind of person who attracts success, not by accident but by design. And as you master this art of resilience, you'll find that your aura of expectancy grows even stronger, drawing opportunities and allies to you in ways you never imagined. But how do you build this aura day by day until it becomes second nature? That's where the real transformation begins. Building an aura of expectancy isn't a one-time act or a fleeting burst of motivation. It's a daily discipline, a conscious choice that must be woven into the fabric of your life. If you want to become a true magnet for opportunity, wealth, and growth, you must treat your mindset as your most valuable asset and invest in it with unwavering commitment. The first step is to make visualization a ritual, not a random exercise. Each morning, before the world's noise can intrude, take a few moments to see yourself already living the life you desire. Picture the details, the environment, the people, the emotions, the victories. Don't just imagine the outcome, feel it. Let your senses become saturated with the reality of your success. This isn't fantasy, it's mental conditioning. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real. When you consistently visualize your goals with emotional intensity, you train your mind to expect them, and your actions begin to align with that expectation. Affirmations are another powerful tool. Speak your intentions out loud with conviction and clarity. Say, I expect abundance, I expect opportunity, I expect to grow. Repeat these declarations until your tone matches your belief. The spoken word is a transmitter of expectation, sending signals not just to your subconscious but to everyone you encounter. When you speak with certainty, people respond. They sense your confidence, your direction, and your readiness to receive. But building the aura goes beyond what happens in your mind. Your environment plays a crucial role. Surround yourself with people who expect more from life, who challenge you to think bigger, and who refuse to settle for mediocrity. If your current circle is filled with cynics or doubters, limit their influence. Seek out mentors, communities, and resources that expand your vision. Read biographies of those who have risen above their circumstances through sheer expectancy. Listen to voices that inspire, not those that shrink your dreams. Your mind is porous, it absorbs whatever you feed it. Protect it as you would your most precious possession. Gratitude is another essential ingredient. Expectancy and gratitude are not opposites, they are allies. When you are grateful for what you have, you create a platform for more. Each morning, thank life for the opportunities ahead as if they are already yours. This practice doesn't make you complacent, it primes your mind to notice and seize new chances. Gratitude keeps you grounded, while expectancy keeps you reaching higher. Self-investment is non-negotiable. The world mirrors back the value you place on yourself. Invest in your skills, your health, your appearance, and your character. Take courses, read widely, and challenge your own assumptions. The more you grow, the more you expect, and the more you attract. Never wait for life to improve before you raise your standards. Raise your standards first and watch how life scrambles to keep up. Finally, track your progress. Keep an expectancy journal. Record your intentions, your daily affirmations, and the results you notice. Note the days when your expectancy was high and what happened as a result. Likewise, observe when doubt crept in and what it attracted. Over time, this record will become undeniable proof of the cause and effect relationship between your mental posture and your results. It will serve as a reminder in difficult seasons and as a testimony in times of triumph. Building the aura of expectancy is a lifelong practice. It requires vigilance, discipline, and a willingness to outgrow your old self again and again. But as you strengthen this aura, you'll find that opportunities, people, and resources begin to gravitate toward you with increasing frequency. Your presence will change rooms, your words will inspire action, and your life will become a living example of what's possible when you expect more. And as your aura grows, you'll discover that expectancy is not just personal, it's contagious, shaping not only your destiny but the destinies of everyone you encounter. But what happens when your expectancy begins to influence the world around you? That's when the ripple effect truly begins. Expectancy is not just a private force working quietly within you, it's a living energy that radiates outward, shaping the world around you in ways you might never have imagined. When you cultivate a powerful aura of expectancy, you don't just change your own life, you become a catalyst for transformation in others. This is the ripple effect of expectancy, and it's one of the most overlooked secrets of influence, leadership, and legacy. Think about the people who have left a lasting impression on you. Chances are they carried themselves with a sense of certainty, a belief in their vision that was almost tangible. Their confidence wasn't loud or boastful, but it was unmistakable. When they spoke, people listened. When they entered a room, the energy shifted. This is the power of contagious expectancy. It's the silent invitation for others to raise their own standards, to believe in possibilities they might have dismissed, and to step into a higher version of themselves. This phenomenon isn't limited to charismatic leaders or public figures. It happens in families, friendships, workplaces, and communities. When you expect the best from yourself, you unconsciously invite others to do the same. Your belief in their potential can be the spark that ignites their own expectancy. A parent who expects greatness from their child, a teacher who believes in a struggling student, a manager who sees potential in their team, these are the everyday heroes who change lives not by force but by the quiet power of their expectations. But contagious expectancy is a double-edged sword. Just as your high standards can lift others, low expectations can drag them down. If you constantly anticipate disappointment, failure, or mediocrity, that energy seeps into your interactions. People sense it even if you never say a word. They may unconsciously lower their own standards to match yours, or they may distance themselves, seeking environments where possibility is the norm, not the exception. This is why it's so important to be intentional about the energy you project. Every conversation, every gesture, every decision is an opportunity to broadcast your expectancy. When you speak about your goals, do so with conviction. When you encourage others, do it from a place of genuine belief in their ability to rise. When you face challenges, let your resilience be a silent lesson to those watching. Over time, your consistent expectancy becomes a beacon, attracting like-minded individuals and repelling those who are content to settle. The ripple effect of expectancy can transform entire organizations. Teams led by expectant leaders consistently outperform those led by skeptics. Why? Because people rise or fall to the level of belief that surrounds them. When a leader expects innovation, effort, and excellence, the team responds in kind. When a culture is built on the expectation of growth and possibility, it becomes fertile ground for breakthroughs and success stories. Communities, too, are shaped by collective expectancy. Neighborhoods that expect improvement attract investment and progress. Groups that expect to make a difference find ways to do so even against the odds. The energy of expectancy is contagious, spreading from one person to another, multiplying its impact with every connection. Perhaps the most profound effect of contagious expectancy is the way it shapes your legacy. Long after you've left a room, your influence lingers in the minds and hearts of those you've touched. Your belief in what's possible becomes part of their story, a silent encouragement that echoes in their own moments of doubt. This is how movements begin, how families break cycles, how ordinary people become legends, not by demanding greatness, but by expecting it and living it out loud. So, as you continue to build your aura of expectancy, remember that you are not just shaping your own destiny. You are setting a standard for everyone you encounter. Your energy is an invitation, a challenge, and a promise. Make it count. Because when expectancy becomes contagious, the world itself begins to change. And as you master this ripple effect, you'll find that the journey doesn't end here. There's one final step, the art of sustaining expectancy day after day until it becomes your unshakable foundation. As we reach the end of this journey, one truth stands above all. Expectancy is not a fleeting feeling or a motivational buzzword, it is the foundation upon which every lasting achievement is built. The world does not yield its riches to those who merely wish or wait. It opens its doors to those who expect, prepare, and persist with unwavering conviction. If you look back at every breakthrough, every moment of triumph, you'll find expectancy at the root, a quiet, persistent belief that something greater is not just possible, but inevitable. But here's the secret most people overlook. Expectancy is a discipline, not a mood. It must be chosen, practiced, and protected every single day. It's easy to expect the best when things are going well, when the evidence of progress is all around you. The real test comes in the quiet moments when results are invisible, when setbacks threaten to erode your resolve, and when the world seems indifferent to your ambition. In those moments, your commitment to expectancy is forged. Will you lower your standards to match your circumstances, or will you raise your vision and demand more from life? The answer to that question will shape your destiny, because the world is always listening, always responding to the signals you send. When you expect abundance, you prepare for it. You invest in your growth, you sharpen your skills, and you refuse to settle for mediocrity. When you expect opportunity, you become alert to possibilities others overlook. When you expect resilience, you recover from setbacks faster, seeing every challenge as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. This is not about arrogance or entitlement. It's about alignment, bringing your thoughts, beliefs, and actions into harmony with the future you desire. It's about refusing to let the doubts of others, the noise of the world, or the shadows of your past dictate what you expect from yourself. You are the architect of your aura, the master of your fate, and the author of your story. Every day you have the power to choose expectancy over resignation, growth over stagnation, and faith over fear. Let this be your mandate. Do not merely hope for wealth, success, or fulfillment. Expect them, not someday but now. Let your expectations set the standard for your actions, your words, and your presence. Speak your goals with conviction, carry yourself with certainty, and act as if the world is already conspiring in your favor, because in many ways it is. The more you fortify your mind with expectancy, the more your aura becomes a beacon, drawing the people, resources, and opportunities that align with your vision. And remember, the journey of expectancy is never truly finished. Each day is a new opportunity to raise your standards, to renew your commitment, and to expand your vision of what's possible. Keep an expectancy journal. Celebrate your progress no matter how small. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to think bigger and reach higher. Protect your mind from the enemies of doubt, comparison, and resignation. Let gratitude and discipline be your constant companions. In the end, your life will always rise or fall to the level of your deepest expectations. The world makes room for those who know where they are going and expect to arrive. So, as you step forward from this moment, carry your aura of expectancy like a banner. Let it color your words, shape your choices, and define your presence. Refuse to settle for less than you desire. Expect greatly, prepare thoroughly, persist relentlessly, and watch as the riches of life in all their forms are drawn to you with irresistible force. The time to expect more is now, because in truth you were never meant for less. The game of wealth, success, and fulfillment belongs to those who expect so relentlessly that even failure itself surrenders before them. So go forward not as a beggar at the banquet of life but as a rightful guest, confident, expectant, and ready to claim your place at the table. The world is waiting for you to expect more. Will you answer the call?